Sonic, the heart of your system.
What's up guys, Luke Hill for Kickaroo here, and we're in the Corsair booth for CES 2020. I say booth, this is a massive room. Let's take a look and see what's on offer. First up, Corsair A500. So it's been a long time since Corsair was doing air cooling. Obviously we know back in the day they did have air cooling products, but this is the Corsair A500. So this is a premium air cooler, going to be around the $100 mark. Maybe 100 euros, 100 pounds. Who knows, the currency's going all over the place at the moment, but I digress there. Dual fan, 120mm fans. These are ML fans. And a pretty cool feature here, and I'm just going to mess around one-handed, is actually you can pull these up. So they do pull all the way off. As you can see, the frame is very easy to deal with. And simply this is because Corsair doesn't want the clip mounts that other vendors use. And the clips, you know, they have their pros, but they also have their cons. One of the other big benefits is you can put the heightened RAM in there. So if you've got Dominator Platinum or something like that, you can deal with those taller memory modules. So I'm just going to pull this off, and I'm going to try to one-handed pull the top off. So you can see that actually comes off pretty easily. This is kind of a brushed metal styling. It looks good. I mean, we can see it in the system there, and I must say it's a very good looking air cooler. No RGB, because Corsair believes the type of audience for this air cooler is going to be DIY system builders who perhaps just don't want RGB. So maybe you're a prosumer with a workstation type system or a server or something you put on the floor and don't really look at. You're more interested in performance, you perhaps don't fully trust liquid cooling or all-in-one cooling, therefore you're going for this, maybe you don't want RGB. So if I tilt the cooler a little bit, when I pick it up, we were told it was about 1,400 grams for the entire package, so slightly bigger than some of the competing air coolers. And when I say competing air coolers, we are looking at Dark Rock Pro 4 D15 type competition, and Corsair has gone straight to the top. They want to compete with the big boys on the market. So if I pick this up, it's actually fundamentally, I guess, a dual tower design, because you've got a very large cutout there, and the idea here is that you put the screwdriver through, you deal with it, and you screw it in. Now Corsair told us that, yeah, they could have taken out a hole and left the internal fins in, but it didn't make all that much difference to performance, but it did add to the mass, and this is already quite a high weight assembly, so they didn't want the extra weight in there. So if we turn it around, we've got 4 heat pipes in a direct touch approach. The 2 central ones, they look like 8mm, and these 2 outer ones look like 6mm, and these are flattened. And as you can see by the base, this is primarily geared at mainstream platforms. I'm actually not sure if they said LGA 2066, so we'll have to check the press release. Let us know in the comments below if you've seen something that I haven't. No Threadripper support, because it's just, well, clearly the cold plate on the bottom, or the heat pipe direct touch style on the bottom will not work with Threadripper. It's just too big. So one of the points that Corsair said regarding the mounting is that with Intel you've got the pin mounting mechanism, which some of the competitors don't. With AMD right now, because it takes AM3 and AM4, you have to use the typical cross bracket mechanism with the different spacers, but future iterations might drop AM3 support, which will bring AM4 to the better pin mounting style. Here we've got the Corsair. These are the H100i, specifically the RGB Pro XT, but this is the iCUE Pro XT series of all-in-one liquid coolers. Now the big difference here is that the previous Pro series was Istech Gen 6, but this is using the coolant pump from the Platinum series and bringing that down to the Pro series. So it's not a case of cheaping out, it's actually a case of bringing the more premium design, because we're told the coolant design is better. It is better performance than the Istech Gen 6 design, and it's bringing that down to a lower cost segment of the market. Now this is important because, as you can see, you still get the RGB. I mean, this is Corsair, of course you're going to get RGB, and you actually get this glossy finish on the pump mount, which looks pretty good in my opinion. But the key thing here is that you don't get the RGB ML fans included. They're just the normal ML fans with the 0 RPM fan mode. But that saves a bit of cost. So you can bring the Platinum level performance down to the Pro level cost. One of the key things here is Threadripper support out of the box, and that's not the case with the current Pro lineup. You had to buy the mount separately, but it's not a full cover cold plate for Threadripper. We spoke to Corsair about whether that's going to be something for the future or not. It depends on the market for Threadripper realistically. It's not in their eyesight at the moment. Size-wise, you've got your main high-performance ranges covered, so you've got 240, 280, and 360. And you can see in here, the 360 is push-pull. That's one of the key features, actually, is the new PCB design. Because you're not using any of the PCB control channels for the RGB lighting system on the fans, you can allocate those for powering the fans themselves. So now you can support push-pull with the 6 fans required for the 360 cooler. And Corsair was adamant that push-pull needs to be supported for higher performance for enthusiasts.